Hey guys, welcome to a bonus episode of Crazy D's Equipment. So today I'd like to take you guys out to the lot and just slightly go over some of the features that you should look for when you're trying to buy an older used tractor. Not all will have them, and I'm going to kind of point out to you guys which ones you're going to want to have for sure. Ones that you're going to be looking for to make sure the tractor has, because they're going to be the ones that are going to be the most useful to you. So let's take a step out to the lot on this hot and muggy Kansas day, and we'll take a walk down the lot, and we'll go over the tractor. So let's go on out to the lot, guys. So guys, we're out here on the lot. Let's go over some of the tractors that I got here on some of the features that these have that you're going to be looking for. So on the back of this old Case 300, this thing has 3-point, but on this model, and Case came out with this and they called it Eagle Hitch. And when Ford still owned the patent to the 3-point hitch system, every company kind of came out with their own design. International had fast hitch, Allis Chalmers had the quick coupler, Case had Eagle Hitch, etc., etc. The Eagle Hitch is probably the closest to the actual 3-point system. The fast coupler system had like a bell-shaped thing underneath the tractor, and there was a loop, and you backed your piece of equipment up, and you put that loop into that thing, and the pin set, and then you were able to hook 2 arms on it, and it gave you kind of 3-point. And International's fast hitch was more of a 2-point system, but you had there was 2 pointed pieces sticking out from the piece of equipment that went into a coupler on both sides and locked into place, and that kind of gave you the 3-point system. Case, what they did is they went to work and went with like 3-point arms, but instead of the round pinholes that the 8-in, 9-in, etc. had, they have a coupler, and you can raise up and it grabs the pins and locks into place, and then you just put your pins on the end, and then they had a top link system on the top. So that was their answers at the time. And I'm recommending, if you are looking at an older tractor that predates 3-point, the standard 3-point that everybody has, I'm going to recommend that you look at the Eagle Hitch tractors, because they're the closest, and pretty much all 3 regular 3-point equipment will work with them no problem. And then also, Oliver and Minneapolis had a system that was very, very close to 3-point, and those 3 points are going to be the easiest. The International quick hitch or fast hitch, you can find arms now that'll snap into those grooves, and it'll give you a 3-point system. I'm just going to say they're not cheap. On eBay, they are around $250 to $300 a piece, and remember, you're going to need 2 of them for the system to work. So that's something to think about. And then the other thing is, if you buy a tractor with a loader, and I have seen these mounted all over the place. These are your control levers on the hydraulic block to run the loader. And you're going to want to look at the tractor, and you're going to want to think, okay, when I'm sitting on there and I'm operating this tractor, how convenient is that lever going to be? If it's down here by your feet, how convenient is that going to be every time you need to raise and lower that loader that you have to reach down there by your feet? Either mount it up front like this by the steering wheel, or on a fender right next to the operator area, I would recommend. The other thing is, sometimes you will see them down here by the seat and stuff. I think some of the Allis Chalmers, like the D series tractors, did that, and it works, but it's not super convenient. The other thing you're going to look for when it comes to your 3-point system on your tractors is, where's the levers located on it? And right here is probably the best spot. You want them right there beside you, and then on the majority of them, they will. You will find some tractors where someone's put an aftermarket 3-point system on, and the levers have ended up behind you, and just think about that before you purchase a tractor, that every time you go to run that lever, you're going to have to turn. And do you want to do that? By the end of the day, I mean, it could be good exercise, work on the abs, but after a while, that's going to get really, really tiring. So, but that's just something I want you to think about, and those are some of the features that you're definitely going to want on your next used tractor. So let's move on down the line a little bit. Come with me. So on the back of this old 930 here, we have dual hydraulics. You have multiple ports. There's 4 of them on here, and that's something else you're going to want to look for. A lot of old tractors may have 1, they may have 2. You're going to want to look for ones that have more than that, because if you decide later on to put a loader on the tractor, you're going to need to be able to have ports for that, but you're still going to want to have ports for your other pieces of equipment, for raise and lower, you know, whatever else you're going to be pulling behind it, your disc or whatever. Also, the other thing I'm going to recommend is this one here still has the original case style, and go to Orscheln's or whatever your farm supply store is and get the universal style, and then change all your cylinders over the universal style. There for a period of time, International, John Deere, Case, everybody had their own style of coupler for the hydraulic system. So just take them back, just go ahead and change them out. It's going to cost you a couple $100 to buy all the ends for your cylinders and stuff, but it's way worth your time and effort, because it gets a little frustrating. These specialty ones are getting harder and harder to find unless they're John Deere, but otherwise just go ahead and change them over to the universal style, and you won't have any problems with that, and it'll make life easier. So on the cap on this real quick, make sure that you find a tractor that has multiple hydraulic couplers. It's called dual hydraulics, and you want a tractor with dual hydraulics. It will make your life so much easier. So let's move over to one more thing, guys. So back over here on the case real quick, I wanted to talk to you about the last and final thing that I think you're going to really want to think about, and that's PTO. You're going to want to have PTO. Now, you notice that this has a spline system on it, and that is a 540. That's how many RPMs the PTO turns. Now also, there's one that has a star, kind of a star looking pattern on it, and that's 1,000 RPM. You need to think about what your application is. It's just running a bush hog and that kind of stuff. The 540 is going to be perfectly fine for you. That's going to do the trick. If you're going to be running a large auger or certain other pieces of equipment like that, silage choppers, that kind of stuff, they require higher RPM turnout. That means the machine needs to turn faster, and you're going to need to get one with 1,000 RPM, 1,000 RPM system on it. These older tractors, some of them do offer it. You know, I have a 1066 International at home. It does. 806 does. International again. 1030 Case, a lot of them do. And then if you get up into the 970s, etc., those tractors Case tractors will have it. And then 4020 John Deere, the early ones don't, but the last of them, some of them do. So that's just something to kind of think about. If you notice, if you look back when we were a minute ago when we were talking about the 3.0 over there on the Case, the Case doesn't have any PTO. That's because it's an industrial version, and it has a shuttle shift. And so if you get a tractor with shuttle shift, it's not going to have PTO most likely, because the way the transmission works on the inside doesn't allow you to have live PTO. And by this point in time, farmers were expecting if it had PTO, it was live PTO. And live PTO means that if you step on the clutch, the PTO keeps spinning, that it's on its separate clutches and it's not running off the clutches of the tractor. So, but those are just some of the things that I would think you should really think about before you jump into buying a tractor. Those are going to be things that you're going to be on that tractor someday trying to do a little bit of work, and you're going to be like, damn, I wish I had this, or the neighbor's tractor has it and it works so good for him, why doesn't mine? So I just want you to stop and think about those things before you purchase your next used tractor. But anyhow, guys, so I guess thanks for coming in and watching this bonus episode. We're going to do one of these a month for a little while, and just kind of give you guys some extra stuff out there for you to see what's going on, and share some just little odds and ends. We have some big videos coming up in the future where there's some big tractor shows and stuff that's going to be going on in our area later on this summer, and we're going to do a big tour of them. And then I got a couple buddies who have some really cool tractor collections, and I'm going to do a couple videos with them and walk their collections with them. So just some of the things to look forward in the future. I don't know how soon those things are coming, but they're coming, and I would love to share them with you guys. So thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please do hit the bell icon. Come check us out at Omega Ag on Facebook, and thank you guys for watching another episode of Crazy D's Equipment.